kindness of your heart, giving those things. You are their world right now. You may never meet them. It may be something that shows up in the mail, but they know that came from somebody kind and each other. And I'm still talking about BJ here. And she's part of that small world. They don't want the rest of the world in there. They don't mind the internet thing. They're okay with that. There is a monetary reward there for them, and they know that. But it's a very small world they live in. And when you take a relative out of that, it's a pretty big piece of it. And I don't think that that's something that they just want to give up just because of something that she did, which is monumental. I mean, now believe me, that would not be acceptable, I'm sure, in your home or in my home. I would not put up with that. But that's not me, and that's not you. That's the Whitakers. We live in this big, giant universe. We go places and we do things. And, I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to travel all over the world and play music and tour with some very fun bands, but I've been able to meet some wonderful people, and I've got some great friends. They don't have that. Those are things we take for granted. So BJ means way more to them. And I know it's not what you want to hear. I'm not encouraging her to be part of their life, but I'm not going to be part of saying that she can't be around. I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to encourage it to happen. And I'm not making excuses for it. I just want you to know what they think. I personally think they should do something about it, but that's up to them. They know how to do it. Betty knows how to get that done. She knows who to ask to get that done. Patrick will give her a ride down there and make sure that gets done. And there are other people, I'm sure, that will do that, but that's got to be up to them. Right now, that whole family's hurting right now because of what's happened. This has been very traumatic for all three of them. Can you imagine, Ray? I mean, I can't get that image out of my head. I didn't see it happen. I can't imagine that poor guy smiling all the time. His knee swelled up that big, and he's smiling and pointing at it, and Eric's putting lotion on it, and he's pulling his pant leg up and walking around, and he's living in conditions that there's no way that any of us would live in. And the things that we take for granted would be luxury to them. But he was happy there. And one day he was pulled out of his home. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about the state. Trust me on that. I'm not. Those people are incredible people to do what they do. You know how hard that must have been for them? They knew who they were, and they knew what they were having to do. They were forced to do that. They didn't have a choice. They had to go in and do that. Promise I wouldn't bring in. Okay, so I can do this without saying somebody's name or anybody's name. You just do the math yourself. 5-6 years ago, whenever it was when Mark was in there, they were brought to the whole nation knew who the Whitakers were. They become famous nationally. And if there was a time that they were ever exposed enough that everyone would know who they were, it's a very small town up there. And the city of Beckley's not very big, and it's not like Atlanta or Chicago. Like, there's people that you'll never meet in that town and can live there all your life. It's not like that. Everybody knows everybody up there. And as things came in, they got more popular. More and more people knew who they were. I mean, I'm talking to people last night in Missouri that watch all these lives, and they're looking forward to it. They were encouraging me to help, and they wanted to know what they could do to help out. So you can bet your butt that people in Beckley know who they are, and all the little surrounding towns know who they are, and people driving around there, they know their business, and I can guarantee that they all know them. And nothing had ever happened in the past. BJ's always been a problem. She's always had trouble with drugs, going into rehab and trying. I don't know anybody that does drugs that really wants to be a drug addict. I don't know anybody. I recently lost a bunch of weight, and I don't want to be fat. I'm still fat, and I don't want to be. I'm going to be 65 years old, and I've been heavy since I got out of high school. Actually, when I got married, because I made a mistake and married a good cook. And I let those good looks just fool me. And she's listening in the other room. So, no, I'm kidding. It's the truth. I mean, she's a great cook, but I don't want to be having. The drug addict doesn't want to be a drug addict. They don't want that. But they can't get out of it. And I started talking about the state and them coming in here. And here's where it comes back full cycle with the state. They've got their hands full. They do. And if you think that the Whitakers are the only people that are like that and living in those conditions up there, they're not. There's no way they could handle the load that's going on up there. Look at what goes on in the inner cities, folks. Look at all the programs. I got on Meta AI today because I'm not smart enough to just, I don't know what kind of programs are available, that kind of thing. I looked at programs in the inner city,